AC Milan, how could you? Losing to Feyenoord in the Champions League. And now we have an uphill battle. It's not looking good, folks. It's not looking good. So I brought my candle and I brought my lighter and we're gonna light this candle together and bring the good vibes and good energy for AC Milan. Oh. Did you guys see that? That has to mean something. AC Milan's winning the Champions League if you guys saw that. Good vibes. We're gonna put this right here because there's no way in hell that AC Milan are getting bounced by Feyenoord in the Champions League. Is this candle okay? Are we okay here? We're bringing the good vibes. The candle's here. The candle's lit. We're putting in our predictions. We're locking them down. And let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, my football friends. This is an extra special episode of the Caroline Salame Show. Yes, I have lost my mind. I have now resorted to lighting candles in my house in hopes that AC Milan advance into the round of 16 and don't get bounced by Feyenoord in the Champions League. So this is what we've come to. So in this episode, we're just going to put our predictions in for the second leg of the knockout playoff rounds. Okay, and we're going to determine which teams go into the round of 16. First up, my AC Milan versus Feyenoord, and feel free to roast my club in the comments because guess what? They deserve it. My friends, Milan lost 1-0 to a side that fired their manager 2 days prior to that match. 2 days before, 48 hours prior to that match, they said, "Finito la storia, ciao," to Feyenoord's manager. And somehow AC Milan, one of the biggest clubs in the world, full of legacy, can't manage to win?
Oh, that's bad.
And Magic Mike couldn't save this goal near post? All eyes were on Santiago Jimenez against his former club in the Champions League. Ghosted. Rafael Leao, you the best, you the man, but ghosted. And João Felix, don't even get me started. I tried to warn you all. I warned you all. Watch this video that I uploaded. This is classic João Felix. Has an incredible debut and then retires immediately after that debut. Wait till the end of the 6-month contract and tell me how you feel about João Felix then. Okay? But we're gonna think positive here. Like I said, my candle's lit. We are zen. We're feeling the vibes. We're putting the good energy out. And check out this stat. Milan's record away from San Siro in the Champions League knockout games has been winless in 12 games and only scored 3 goals over the span. So you're probably like, hey, Caroline, hate to break it to you, but there's nothing positive about that. But I say there is.
She's losing her mind.
Because the second leg is in San Siro, which means this god-awful stat that Milan has created for themselves doesn't apply to us because we are going to play at home and there's no other option but to beat Feyenoord. Not only beat them, but like beat them 5-0. I have my candle out. I'm saying my football prayers. We're putting good energy out there. AC Milan will win. And I'm sorry, but Feyenoord's going home, especially if the rumors are true and they hire Sevenhawk, because I don't trust this man one bit. Anyone who tries to ruin the legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo cannot and should not be trusted. So Feyenoord, good luck to you if you hire Ten Hag, but the reality is AC Milan is advancing into the round of 16.
Word.
Okay, guys, so we're going to blow through these next few matches, quickly put our predictions in because we know what's cooking at the end of this video, the main event. And we want to get to that sooner rather than later. Okay, so we got Benfica versus Monaco. Benfica won against Monaco 1-0 in the first leg, so I really think that they're going to take the second leg. I truly think that the Portuguese league is a little disrespected and undervalued. Like, I think the Portuguese league has some strong teams that always give us some strong matches, whether they're in the Champions League or Europa League or Conference League. So I think Benfica takes the second leg again. And just putting it out there, Di Maria, in my opinion, is one of the best footballers that we've ever seen. And again, we talk about undervalued. That's a player that has been undervalued for the immense amount of skill that he has. So I think he's going to score a goal. What are his stats right now? I wrote them down here. He has 1 goal, 2 assists in 9 matches, so he's due for a goal. Let's say that he scores one, and Benfica advance, and Monaco, I'm sorry, but there's always next year.
It's not that easy, man!
Bayern versus Celtic. And if there's one thing we know, we don't bet against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And that's zero disrespect to Celtic. I actually really like this club, and we got to give a shout out to the Canadian Alistair Johnston. So I like to see Celtic succeed, but again, it's Bayern Munich in the Champions League. They already beat Celtic 2-1 at Celtic Park, and now they're heading back to Munich for the second leg. So I just feel like we know. It's not even like a what's going to happen. Like, we know what's going to happen. And by the way, have you seen Mr. Skechers? Mr. Harry Kane Skechers. Have you seen his stats lately? 73 goals, 22 assists in 74 games. Excuse me, sir. Is that normal? Like, anyone listening to this, is that normal to you? What are those stats, and how are we not talking about Harry Kane more? But then we look at Harry Kane's stats for this season alone, okay?
Okay.
28 goals, 10 assists in 28 games. I'm not saying he should win a Ballon d'Or just because he's scoring a goal per game, but at least bring him into the conversation. These numbers are crazy. Basically, we don't need a psychic to tell us that Kane, based on the stats I just told you, will score in the second leg. And when you look at Kane and all of the guys around him, we just know that this is the end of Celtic's Champions League run. Bayern Munich will advance into the round of 16. Locked in.
So obvious.
Club Brugge versus Atalanta. Wow, did this first leg end in some heavy drama. And let me tell you, as a Milanista, it's almost against my religion to ever say anything good about another Serie A team. Like, I just can't do it. I start to get hives, start to feel ill. But I do have to admit, we got to give credit where credit's due. And Atalanta were slightly, how do I say this? Robbed in the 94th minute against Club Brugge? What in the actual F word was this? How is a referee and VAR going to call this not only a foul, but a penalty? Ref straight to jail, VAR straight to jail. And again, I'm not crying. I cried all my tears in the Feyenoord match, but Atalanta did get robbed. So I do think now that they go back to their home pitch, their home turf, the football gods will deliver karma, because that's what they do. So I think Atalanta, not only will they win, but I feel like they might get like a nice heavy score line against Club Brugge, because that's the only way it can make sense in my mind. So Atalanta goes through, they get a break from that horrible penalty call against them in the first leg, and Club Brugge,
Sayonara.
Okay, Sporting versus Dortmund. Here's the thing. Sporting is at the top of the Portuguese table, and Dortmund is in 11th place in the Bundesliga. But one thing you won't see me doing the majority of the time is betting against Dortmund, because this team is the little engine that could. They won the first leg 3-0. They have some players putting up some crazy stats. They're going back into their own house, their own territory, in front of the best fans in football. And yes, that's a heavy statement, but I do think Dortmund fans are the best fans in football. So I think they dominated that first leg, and I think they're going to do the same thing in the second leg. Dortmund advanced into the round of 16, and Sporting, I'm sorry, I know you miss Ruben Amorim, but I'm going to tell you this. I am positive that he misses you guys more. Juventus versus PSV. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, and my bias is going to come out, and I don't care because it's my show, but I can't stand Juventus ever since I was a little girl and they were relegated because they're cheaters. Yeah, they are. So they won the first leg against PSV. They're probably going to win the second leg, and that's all I have to say about Juve. Ciao.
That's not fair.
Okay, so I know it's PSG versus Brest, but the only player I care to talk about is Dembele, because have you guys seen his form right now? This is another player we don't talk enough about. Listen to this. Last season, Dembele had 6 goals, okay? At this moment in time, he has 23 goals. Not to mention the guy scoring back-to-back hat-tricks. He had 2 goals against Brest in the first leg, and he has 5 goals in his last 127 minutes against Brest. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just gonna make the assumption that Dembele and the boys take this one. Sorry, Brest. You're not the best in this matchup. That was so bad.
Are you talking to yourself again?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Guys, I have not stopped thinking about Manchester City versus Real Madrid from the second that whistle blew to start the match. The chokehold that this game and the drama currently has on me it's not normal. And first things first, Manchester City fans, what the hell were you thinking with that tifo? You guys really want to poke Vini Jr. the bear before the game? You really want to rub it in his face prior to the Champions League match? Why would you do that before the match? Vini, of all players, who loves the drama, who loves the spice. And oh my days, then there's Rodri. Then there's Rodri with his iPhone from 4000 BC taking pictures of the tifo. In what world, when I saw this, I said, this can't be real. This is real-time Photoshop. This cannot freaking be real. I'm still laughing about it. Bro pulls out his phone and starts taking photos. Rodri, you're a professional footballer. I'm sure you can ask for the Getty images after the match and then like keep that in your phone and never show anyone that you have it if it's that important to you. Oh my God, bro took a picture. And then we got a picture of him taking the picture. And this will forever be a meme. This will forever be a storyline. And what's insane is that Manchester City fans really thought that they would get to Vini Jr. They really thought that they would make him upset. Like you can see Vini Jr.'s eyes before the match when he saw the tifo. He's like, okay, you know, they're making fun of me. I got robbed of the Ballon d'Or. They're just kind of putting salt on the wound. But then you see him after the match, winning man of the match, all smiles, with City fans, the ones who are crying. Oh my gosh, let's just get into it. I'm talking too much, let's get into it.
Buckle up, baby!
Okay, let's start with Erling Haaland carrying this Manchester City team in this match. And this is for everyone who has ever said that Haaland isn't a big game player. Because how are you going to tell me that? 2 massive goals against Real Madrid in the Champions League, who, by the way, have 15 Champions League titles, who, by the way, are inevitable in the Champions League, who, by the way, proved it in this match. 2 goals. And that second goal, to step up to the penalty spot with the pressure of the world on his shoulders. Everyone in the world who's a football fan is watching that moment. And not only does he sink that penalty, he beats Courtois completely and gives Manchester City the lead in the 80th minute. With 20 minutes to go plus added time, Manchester City essentially won the first leg. That's what Haaland did. He went from Salzburg to Dortmund to signing with Manchester City, and ever since that big toe of his touched a pitch in the Premier League, he's absolutely dominated the best league in the world. And people are still gonna say he's not a big game player? Ooh. I don't get it. I don't. And if anything, he's just proved you wrong. Because guess what? He has 49 Champions League goals in 48 games. Is that normal? Is the pace of that normal? He's 24 years old. 49 Champions League goals. And not only did Haaland score those 2 goals, but he brought the spice. He's fighting with Vini. He's fighting with Asensio. He's doing what he can for Manchester City to win this game.
Period.
So Haaland scores 2 goals. It's the 80th minute, and it looks like Real Madrid's going to lose to Manchester City. Pep feels good. He beat Ancelotti, one of the best managers that has ever coached the game. And Manchester City are on the up now. What could happen? Oh man, do I love football, and do I freaking love the Champions League. What could happen? Everything happened. Not only did Brahim Diaz equalize this match 2 minutes after he was subbed on, but then Jude Bellingham, the best midfielder in the world, scored the game-winning goal. And aside from the goals, it was the drama of the match that made this comeback absolutely disgustingly good. You know that game-winning goal that Bellingham ended up scoring? He wouldn't have scored it if it were Vini, who also happened to win, like I said, man of the match. So now, not only have Real Madrid made the comeback, 2 goals in the span of 5 minutes? But Vini Jr., the guy who was made fun of by Manchester City fans, is holding up man of the match and is now headed into the second leg knowing that Real Madrid have the upper hand. But not only that, they humble FC. Guys, when I tell you at the end of that match, I was sitting watching my television like this. You can't put into words that comeback and the drama, the tifo, the phones, the comebacks, the goals, Vini winning man of the match. This is never going to be forgotten. Like, this has now become football lore. And the second leg hasn't even begun. And I'm going to tell you this. I would bet my life savings that Real Madrid wins that second leg. There is no way that Manchester City can come back from being big dogged like that by Real Madrid. It's just the scenes. You can't make up the scenes. You can't make up the storyline. My prediction is in that Real Madrid hand humble FC another humble loss. And I personally will never, ever, ever get tired of the Rodri phone memes. And listen, I feel bad for him in a way because I'm sure he's a nice guy and I think he's a great footballer. This is never anything personal. But man, someone's got to tell him, like, where are his friends? Like, hey Rodri, maybe now is not the best time. You know, like, put your phone away. I don't know. Like, if that was my friend, I'd be like later. You know, I don't know. It's just so funny. And now I just feel like Rodri low-key is shitting his pants headed into the Bernabeu because you just know it's about to be insane.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Put your predictions down in the comments for each game. Just write the team that you think's gonna win. I'll do that as well and pin my comments so you guys can see, but I wanna know who you think's gonna win, and then we can go back to this video next week when we know which teams are gonna be in the round of 16 and we can see if we were right or wrong. What I will tell you is I better not be wrong about my AC Milan. And let me tell you another thing. If this worked and AC Milan wins, we're lighting a candle every single time. So I'm gonna blow this out right now because it's not going out. That's a good sign. Champions League.